Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aries. If Aries is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Aries, we have the Princess of Swords. Yes, it's a very active energy, this card. I love it because it makes me think of people who are so passionate about, whatever it is that they're maybe involved in, some kind of activism or some school of thought, or you've signed up to go to school to do something and you're like really all about it. That's the energy of the princess. It is one that is so very talented and quick and sharp, and there's no feeling of getting like worn out, right? Remember when you were young and you could just talk all night long? You just sat there and, chit-chatted with your friends. You're on the phone all night long. You get up, you go to school, and then you talk as much as you can there too. And it's like, you never run out of things to say or things to, just to listen, to relate to one another, and as you get older, you just wait for the silence. You just wait. And so this is that energy where it's just so much kind of mental capacity right now, right? And so let's see, how does this relate to our tea leaves? What are these tea leaves going to say? And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. I like this one a lot. It reminds me of something like from Beauty and the Beast or something. But we have the body of a person. Okay, here's the torso, the legs, here are the arms, and the head is a candle, right? And the candle represents, to me, in these readings, I call them the light of illumination, okay? So when we see the candle, we know that you are going through a period of time where you are receiving spiritual downloads. You are getting all of the information. The universe is fully plugged in with you. There are dreams, visions, synchronicities, noticing patterns, maybe even phenomena happening, high strangeness, or some kind of encounter. Whatever it is, it feels like it is very, very strong. And not only that, it doesn't seem like it's just a momentary thing. I feel like this is very much about your path in general. You are on a spiritual path, a path of awakening. And this might be something that, I think often it's packaged as being kind of this blissful, like, I'm going to meditate and do yoga and find my happiness and manifest the life that I want. And, maybe that's true. Maybe that happens for some people. But I think for the majority of us doing spiritual work, occult work, work within magic, religious work, whatever it is, it can be a really difficult path. You go through a lot of ordeals. You can think of poor old Job in the Bible, right? Just really taken to task to ultimately you know, maybe test his faith, but also fortify his soul. And, you know, I'm not one to romanticize suffering, especially spiritual suffering. But I think that often this is the path that, you know, those who are walking towards enlightenment or absolution or, you know, the path of purification, you know, whatever it is. I mean, even annihilation, right? There are plenty of systems that do, you know, either have shadow paths or, you know, that's the goal, right? To escape their dharma, to escape the wheel and, you know, ultimately lead to this kind of ultimate annihilation. And so, yeah, I feel like you've been through some stuff, okay? I feel like you are not just some like beginner. You haven't lived a life that was just kind of, you know, overly padded for you. It wasn't a soft, easy, you know, given everything. No, you've had to struggle for what you have. You've worked hard for it. You have gone through ordeals. And you have continued to stay in relation with your, you know, your faith, your divinity, your, what's the word? Your, I was going to say perseverance, but yeah, you do. You are somebody who definitely has persevered. But ultimately it is I feel that it is all about honoring your virtues, right? And I think so much of that it's whatever this path that you have chosen, right? Maybe you are trying to escape the incarnate cycle, right? Or maybe it is that you want to become some kind of holy figure or a practitioner of some kind, an alchemist, a wizard, a witch, or you know, joining the clergy in some kind of capacity, or, you know, whatever it is. But I do feel like this is central to your life, okay? I also see that we have, it looks like a little harp, or maybe a, not a lute. What's the other thing called? What's the thing that Orpheus has? I forget. It's like, it looks kind of like a harp. A lyre? Lyre. Lyre, I think. Yes, lyre. So there is a sense of music here, entertainment. I feel like maybe you are somebody who people find quite entertaining. You're charismatic, you're funny, you're good at storytelling. Maybe you're a musician or an artist of some kind. But you do stay in that as well. And I feel like this is one of the places where you express this alignment that you have with God, with Goddess, with the, you know, cosmos. And it pours out through you. I also would not be surprised if people have told you for a lot of your life that you seem like an old soul, that you are somebody who has lived many lives. And I think that that is probably pretty true, pretty on point, okay? Now, up here, we have what looks like a person holding, I first thought a hook, right? It looked to me like a hook. And this reminds me of like a goddess figure, okay? Mostly because it looks like they're wearing like a flowing robe. So I imagine like a Juno or Hera or, you know, Artemis or Diana or something like this. We also have over here a house. Okay, the house is right there. You can see with the little roof and all that. We have a cow outside of it. So to me, this really represents kind of the homestead. Not just like having just the house, right, or the apartment, but you want to really create something that's a little more self-sustaining. You are somebody who is planning for long term, right? Not just right now. And I feel like that, what that indicates to me is that you are in a place where maybe you're feeling a little more secure. Maybe you're making a little bit more money. The bills are getting paid. You're starting to allow yourself to dream a little bit. Because let's face it, you know, we've all, or at least most of us, right, have lived paycheck to paycheck. Or, I mean, barely, you know, it's not even covering. The paycheck isn't even covering all the stuff. You know, we're behind on bills. We don't know where we're going to get the money. We're trying to pick up shifts or, you know, side hustle, whatever. There's not a lot of room in that kind of living to be dreaming. Now, you might have dreams, of course. But when you're in it, you're in that frenzy. You're in that, you know, trying to, you're borrowing money to pay this bill, and you got to borrow other money to pay that and that. You know, it's all back and forth. You know, that's a difficult place to be in. So I feel like you have had some of that stress alleviated. Okay. And I feel like probably, yeah, you are. You're making maybe a little bit more money at work. You have a little bit of money saved, hopefully. And you're starting to think, like, what is my next move going to be? You know, what is realistic for me, for my family? You know, because you want to be able to have a place that you can call your own. You want to have a place where you can maybe have a little room, have a little yard, you know, have a cow out in suburbia or whatever. I don't know. But and I feel with the fish, when we see the fish in the symbols, to me it always represents resources, an abundance of them. Now we have the person, the goddess here, the mother figure, with the hook. So there is a sense of really devoting yourself to the work. And not only the spiritual work you've been doing, okay, but the work in your mundane life. Okay, you are trying to stack some coins. Absolutely. And you have, in my mind, I keep getting this idea. It's like you've surpassed kind of that younger impulse to spend money. Just, you know, when you're a kid and you get like $5 in your pocket and you just want to spend it, you know, and then, you know, you're maybe 25, you get your first pretty good job and you have some extra money, and it's like, well, maybe I should put it away, or maybe I should, you know, I don't know, go on a cruise or something, right? And I feel like you have kind of gone from that kind of, you know, handling of money to being much more responsible and very much into planning things, right? Putting away into like a savings plan, or like, you know, investing it or whatever, right? So I do feel like maybe this is a good time to do some research about financial planning. Maybe finding somebody who, you know, maybe in your personal life that you can talk to about this. Amazingly, a lot of kids, and I call them kids, they're adults, but, you know, in their 20s, a lot of really knowledgeable young adults about finances. I mean, these kids are so brilliant. A lot of the younger generations get a bad rap for growing up with the internet and being on their, you know, devices and exposed to all kinds of things on the internets and things like that. But, and, you know, obviously, ideally they wouldn't be. But I meet so many random people that are, you know, through the channel, through other things that I do online. I am really into meme culture, so I meet a lot, a lot of, you know, talk to a lot of random people who are doing memes and running meme sites and stuff. So I feel like I do know some younger people, right, here and there. And I'm just amazed at how creative, informed, interested in the world, interested in how to do things, educating themselves through seeking out, you know, information, just reading, getting on, like, you know, the Wikipedias, getting on the YouTubes, getting on the Reddits, researching. So maybe you have somebody that's younger in your life. Maybe you are young. I don't know. I'm just assuming that maybe you're a little older, like myself. But, you know, and then there's always the option of going and seeing somebody who can, you know, help you with your financial planning, right? So this maybe is something that will be beneficial to you. Okay, so maybe something to consider. Now, we also have a person on a horse. We have an airplane up here. We also have WM, maybe initials. It could be MW as well if we flip it over. But I want to see what's up with the horse. We also have another one here. This person looks like they're standing on the horse with their leg up. You can see the head up here, the body, the leg is up. Like they're doing acrobatics on the back of this horse. So I do feel like there's kind of you're making a decision somewhere in your life. Something's changing. Now we're going to look at the Oracle of the Radiant Sun cards, and I'm going to pick three cards, and we're just going to kind of see. Okay, so escape. What is this next period of time? What is this horse? The movement of the horse. When I think of the horse, especially if there's a person riding the horse, it's very intentional. If you know anything about horse riding, which I know very little, yeah, you got to go in there and you got to get the horse saddled. You know, you brush it or whatever, get it saddled, you get up on the horse and you put your things on your, you know, whatever, the little roll thing, and you head on out. It's an intentional process. It's not just like, you know, you just out of nowhere on a whim, you're just gonna, you know, jump up on the horse and go, unless, you know, you ride bareback or whatever. But yes, so in the symbols, for me, it's something that you have planned for. Okay, you've taken the steps to be able to change this aspect of your life, or maybe travel or move, go and see somebody, something like this. Okay, so we have escape, adaptability, resourcefulness. All right, I'm gonna do two more because for me this feels like old. This is like where you've been, right? And you've had to escape some circumstances of your life that were pretty difficult. You're also very adaptable. So you make it work, right? You might have to start your life over, or maybe you have. And I feel like this is old. So I feel like maybe you've had to start your life over before, right? Maybe it, like, you know, something with your parents. You had to like leave when you were like 16, 17, 18 years old. Next thing you know, you're starting a family, or in a relationship with somebody, or, you know, living on the other side of the country, or whatever it is. But you've adapted, right? And then maybe something else happened. You know, maybe you got into a bad relationship and you had to leave that after some years, or whatever, and you had to begin with nothing, you know, but you're brave and you did the thing. You're resourceful. You're going to make it work. Nothing is going to hold you down. Absolutely nothing is going to stop you from doing what you know you need to do, right? So let's see if it's going to actually tell us what's coming up. Okay. So what we have here is we have companionship, discrimination, and I'm going to do one more because I don't know. Lust. Okay. So to me, this says there is a desire for companionship, okay? You are not somebody who is discriminating, but you are somebody who is discerning, okay? You are not just going to go off with anybody. You're not just going to date the first person that smiles at you, right? You are somebody who is very picky about who you spend your time with. But when the lust, when the lust hits, oh, I'm way up here, my bad. When the lust hits, do you still stay, in that place of discernment? Because you do. Ultimately, I do. I feel like there's this real sense of wanting to just relate to somebody, have a companionship, have a closeness and understanding. And so I think this is the next thing, right? That there is a sense of some kind of coupling, maybe sensually, maybe, like I said, dating, or maybe it gets more serious. I don't know. But I know exactly the face you're making as an Aries, hearing me tell you that you are absolutely, just destroying and like just going hard, doing well, success. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, you're going to also meet somebody. And you're like, nah, no, thank you. But we'll see. Let me know how it goes in the next month. Okay. Now we also have a person here who is in contemplation. Okay. So this tells me that there is a need to maybe have some moments where you're slowing down. You're going into yourself. You're spending time in that interior. You're letting go of some things. The feelings of the day, the emotions that you have absorbed from others. All those kind of transient thoughts. Sitting in a place of stillness and letting that stuff just kind of pass you by like clouds. Cleansing yourself. I have this real strict thing. I don't have a ton of really strict rules in my life. I like things, to run orderly. But one thing I cannot, I can't stand people wearing their clothes from the day into the bed. And actually, I want everybody getting in bed in my household. When you're ready for bed, you need to shower. At least wash your feet, wash your hands, wash your face, all of that before you get into your bed. Now, the other part of it is not bringing the chaos of your mind into your sacred sleep space. And this is kind of the same deal. We don't invite, or we should not anyways, we should not invite that kind of turmoil into the place where we lie our head down and we, travel space and time. And that's what it is. Our bed is our ship, our portal right out into the cosmos. Okay? So, I feel like this is a real indicator that there needs to be time put aside at some point in your busy day for you to allow yourself to purge, or at least, let it just not cling to you, right? Let it go. Let all the stuff go as much as you can. And I promise you, if you get into a habit of doing this every day, it gets easier and easier. You get to a point where you can get out of those thought loops a little bit faster. Those things that we fixate on, right? What did she mean by that? You know, I got an email from my boss that said we need to talk in the morning. What is going on? You know, whatever. The landlord said that they're going to come over and inspect something. You're all twisted up about it. You know, whatever it is. Letting these things go. It gets easier when we get into this practice and we make it part of our routine. Okay? So maybe something to think about. Now, we're going to do our Cincy Child affirmation card real quick here. And I'm just going to flip through. We'll stop where it feels right. It says, I accept and love myself unconditionally. I accept and love myself unconditionally. Yes. All right. Aries, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you want to subscribe, please go ahead and do that. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. Other than that, I want to tell you again, I love you, I love you, I love you. And take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.